Scoring Express is a great way to get professional results in Finale as quickly and easily as possible. Here's how to use it and how to make the most out of everything that's included. Before you install Scoring Express, be sure to quit Finale. Then simply run the installer for your operating system to automatically install everything that's included in Scoring Express. If you get a warning message, it's okay to proceed. On Mac, you might need to right-click or control-click depending on your system's security settings. Scoring Express installs a complete suite of template files into your Documents/Scores/Scoring Express Finale folder. It also installs a suite of document styles and libraries, as well as a dozen high-quality music and text fonts. There are a couple of ways to get started with Scoring Express. You can simply open one of the Finale files and begin working. We advise that you make a copy of the file before opening it, so you don't accidentally change a default file. But if you do ever accidentally change a default file, just run the Scoring Express installer again to install a clean copy. These files are set up with our ideal page size and layout settings and come pre-populated with title, composer, and other headers that use text inserts. You can also begin a score by selecting Document from Template. This is similar to starting directly from a Finale file, but there are a few differences. Starting directly from a score in this way allows you to customize your page size, initial key signature, time signature, and other elements. Just be aware that if you change the page size, you may need to do a little adjusting to the layout settings later. We recommend not adding information in the Document Setup Wizard Score Information area during this process, as the text inserts will not be displayed. Instead, we recommend adding the information later in the Score Manager File Info tab, which will display the text inserts that exist in the score, making it easy to add the correct information to the correct fields. Another option is to create a new score using a document style by selecting Document with Setup Wizard. This tells Finale that you'd like to use the Scoring Express articulations, expressions, fonts, page layouts, and all other document options and libraries alongside the instrumentation and other settings you specify in the Setup Wizard. One issue you may encounter is large film score style time signatures displaying on every staff. This can be quickly fixed by going to Plugins, Scoring and Arranging, Global Staff Attributes. Select all of the staves, then deselect the staves on which you want the time signatures to display, and then uncheck Time Signatures in Score. Whether you start a score from a Finale file, a template, or using a document style, Scoring Express files already have linked parts set up and ready to go with all the settings that we like. For that reason, if you need to change the instrumentation of your score, we recommend making an instrument change instead of adding a new instrument so that the part is retained. Here, in the Pit Orchestra template, you'll see the instrumentation includes a trombone. To change the trombone to a tuba, go to the Window, Score Manager, and select the Instrument List tab. Select the trombone staff and change the instrument to tuba. If you get unwanted changes to group names or brackets when you make an instrument change, we recommend going to Finale, Preferences, and in the Edit tab, unchecking Automatic Instrument Family Group Brackets before applying the instrument change. If the instrument name isn't displaying correctly in the part after applying an instrument change, go to Document, Manage Parts, Edit Part Definition, and manually change the part name. Copying material into a Scoring Express template works the same way as copying material from one Finale file to another. If your source file has the same instrumentation as the Scoring Express template, you can make a stack selection and copy everything in one go into the new file. To make a stack selection, double-click a measure using the selection tool, and then shift-click to extend the selection. To make a stack selection of all the measures in a file, simply press Command-A with the selection tool active. Ensure your filter settings are correct, select the staves you want to copy, and then copy-paste them into your Scoring Express template. If your source file has a different instrumentation than the Scoring Express template, you'll first want to copy all system objects into the Scoring Express template. Set your filter to only include expressions, tempo marks, tempo alterations, and rehearsal marks, stack selection only, and measure settings, stack selection only. Then, make a stack selection and copy-paste the system objects into your Scoring Express template. Next, set your filter so that all boxes are checked, and then copy each staff into the corresponding staff in your Scoring Express template. If you're copying material from a file created with Finale 26 or earlier, you'll first need to open the file using Finale 27 or newer and change the default music font to a Smuffle font by going to Document, Set Default Music Font, and then choosing any of the Smuffle music fonts from the list. For example, Finale Maestro. All of the Smuffle fonts have the word Finale at the start. Once this is done, you can copy the material into your Scoring Express template. After you copy material into your score, you'll probably want to replace the imported expressions, articulations, and chord suffixes with the ones in the Scoring Express libraries. You'll want to move any expressions that have been copied into the appropriate Scoring Express expression categories and reset them to the default category, fonts, and positioning. Then, you'll want to resolve any duplicate expressions so that there is only one of each. Select each duplicate expression, select Delete, and then replace it with the matching expression. This step is especially important if you plan to work with the file further. Similar to expressions, you'll want to delete and replace any articulations that have been copied into the new file, as newly copied articulations will be added to the bottom of the articulation list and therefore will not stack correctly. Finally, you'll want to repeat the process with chord suffixes. Delete any chord suffixes that have been copied into your Scoring Express template and replace them with the corresponding suffixes from the Scoring Express chord suffix library. Once you've replaced the newly copied expressions, articulations, and chord suffixes, you can reset all these elements to their default positions by going to Utilities Change Expressions, Utilities Change Articulations, and Utilities Change Chord Symbols. Make sure Add to Default Position is selected and the values for both the horizontal and vertical offset fields are set to 0. Select OK, and those elements will pop into place. There are loads of special features in Scoring Express files and libraries. In addition to the hundreds of custom settings in document options and elsewhere, here are just a few of our favorites, both large and small. you'll notice 6 new trill lines in addition to the standard trill line. We've also added sostenuto and una corda pedal lines. There are lots more extra smart shapes. Option-click the Custom Smart Shapes tool to check them all out. Please note that, though they look great, custom smart shapes will not play back. We've added a bunch of additional expression categories, each with their own sizing and positioning. We've created an entirely new chord suffix library. Every character has been carefully positioned so that each chord suffix is clean, clear, and easy to read. Those are just a few of the many features in Scoring Express. If you hunt around, you'll find some pleasant surprises in every corner. We hope you enjoy using Scoring Express.